Hi there, I'm Nikki Klosser, and this week on the Portrait System podcast, we have Ning Wong. Ning shares with us how he was laid off from his job, and while it was really hard at the time, it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to him because then he built a successful photography business. He started with shooting weddings, and then he moved into portraits and corporate work, but what really made a huge difference in his business is adding in video. We talk about how that one decision boosted his income, helped him grow his team and his business in general. Such an incredible story. All right, let's get started with Ning Wong.
Hi, Ning. Welcome to Portrait System. How are you?
What's going on? How are you, Nikki?
I'm so good. I feel like we've been trying to do this for a long time now.
It's okay. I mean, you finally got it done. So I know we're really busy. So it's all good.
All right, Ning, introduce yourself to people. Just tell people where you live and then just the breakdown of what you shoot.
Yeah, so my name is Ning Wong. I own Ning Wong Studios. I live in Newport Beach, California. We shoot weddings to corporate, commercial work. We do portrait stuff. We do headshots. We do a lot of video work too. So that's kind of how we got started, I guess.
Sweet. You started in weddings though, right?
Yeah, so we started as wedding photography only. And then honestly, it was a crazy story how I got started, but then it was never on the path of my life. But we had a video a couple years later, you know?
Sweet. Tell us how you got started and when.
Yeah. So I went to UCLA for electrical engineering. I worked at Raytheon. I was an IT director. I was a big nerd, right? And then I was in sales and marketing. And my last job was in Irvine, California. I was in marketing at a private firm. And I just bought this house for me and my fiance, now wife, here in Newport, to move closer to where I worked and stuff. And then literally a month after we moved in, the company got bought out, and I was a restructured asset. And, I'm sure you've heard people talk about, I got laid off and stuff like that. And, it was tough because I didn't realize, I put all my hopes and dreams into this company. I thought one day I wanted to be a partner. I wanted to do something big with this company. And then some guy in Utah crossed some name off a list. And so I came home, sat down I'll call her wife, but back then it was fiance.
Yeah.
And just told her what happened. And she's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was, just sitting there. And in the meantime, I had no plan, but I told her, you know what, let me play video games for a week. And then I'll find a job. I'll find a job in a week. Yeah. Just let me play games and hang out. And then she's asked me what I really wanted to do. And I said, you know what, I want to own my own business, but I don't know what to do. And so when you work corporate, you have disposable income. And I bought camera gear. And so I don't want you guys to judge me or anything, but I used to shoot the nightclubs for a living when I was younger with black hair.
Why would we judge you for that? Nah.
No, it was fun. You got VIP access and stuff, and you got your friends in for free, got free drinks, but we weren't making a living off of it. But I thought photography might be a thing to do. And I had friends who supported it, and I wanted to try it. And all I remember saying was, well, I heard weddings pay a lot of money, and that was it.
Yep.
I had no idea. But for the first year, my wife supported me. She paid for my bills when I couldn't pay for things. She helped me upgrade gear. She listened to my frustrations trying to book clients and stuff. So I owe so much to her for letting me pursue this dream. So here I am 13 years later doing this full time. So
yeah, it helps to have a supportive, someone to help pay the bills and that sort of thing. It's yeah.
Well, the emotional support is a big part, So that's the biggest part.
It is. It's
your
very
cheerleader.
Helpful. We do hear some people on here saying I don't have a supportive partner or whatever. And, Sue Bryce, she's always teaching people. It's sometimes I'm just speaking to the people who maybe don't have a supportive partner, where it's sometimes you can't just tell them what you're going to do and keep telling them. You have to show them. You have to just start doing it. And then it's oh, okay, so this does work. Because, I think sometimes people think when you're starting a business, not everyone knows someone who started a business and didn't work out, right? So I think people get scared and whatever. And when their partner wants to start a business, it's it can be scary. And
I mean,
sometimes fear means I'm not going to support you. And so,
And that's what happened with my parents being Asian. I was either a doctor, lawyer, engineer, and I was an engineer. And just going from that to a creative world was a huge difference of support in the beginning. And, it took a while for my parents to come around, but after a couple of years, they saw it was a real business. And I remember one year during Christmas, my mom and dad never give us extravagant gifts. We don't want crazy gifts. We want more just like sentimental gifts. I'm a sentimental guy.
Yeah.
And she gave me this box and I opened it and it was a polo with my logo on it.
Oh.
And she said, I want you to wear this when you go work. And I loved it. I was so appreciative. It was kind of a turning moment for us. Yeah. But I didn't have the heart to tell her that I changed my logo like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, shit. Oops. Thanks, Mom.
That's all good. But I still wore it to all the jobs. I don't care. It's for my mom. It's in my closet still, of course.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that was a big turning moment. Big turning moment for me.
Yeah, if my dad was still alive when I decided, I had a school social work job and, steady income, but not great income. Teachers don't get paid well at all. But if I had gone to him and said, hey, Dad, I'm quitting my job, he would have lost his mind. He would have looked at me like, what the hell do you think you're doing? He would have freaked out. So and then I would have showed him, this is what I'm doing. Yep. And then now, if he was alive now and could see me now, he'd be like, wow, so sometimes it's just about continuing to do it and then just showing people. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I love how you say that. Yeah, I love that. That's a great way to say it.
Yeah. I got it from Sue, so I can't take credit.
Okay.
All right. So fast forward, you're like, weddings, that's going to be my thing because you make money in weddings. And how long, I guess, how many weddings were you doing per year for how long? When that was all you were doing?
It took me half a year to get my first client. I charged her $600. Me and my buddy split it. We thought we were rich. At the peak, when I was doing 100% weddings, we're doing 40, 50 a month, right? I was
a month?
Sorry, 40, 50 a year. Sorry.
Yeah. I was like, holy.
40, 50, no way. No. 40, 50 a year. Just because, we're just racking it up. I was charging $2,000 to $3,000. To me, that was a lot of money just because, $3,000 times 50 is $150 a year, right? So, then after all the labor you pay and all the taxes that you're supposed to pay, right?
Right.
It comes out to be not too bad,
Yeah.
And so that was a lot. And that was when pre-kid days, when our daughter was young, I could do that. But then just things kind of shift over time,
I know, especially once you start losing your weekends and your evenings, because often the couples want to, do engagement shoots or meet with you in the evenings. And it changes things. I mean, not even just when you have kids, because you don't have to have kids in order to not want to work weekends, but it makes it even more horrible when you're missing out on all the cool things that your kids start doing on the weekends and everything.
Yeah. Just even those kid birthday parties or just doing things with your family, and it's 13 years ago. So I was in my 30s. You just hustle more, right? You hustle. I'm not saying as you're old, you can't hustle, but it's just that hunger at the beginning of your business, you have it, right?
Yeah.
And I do miss that crazy life of shooting back to backs. I remember one year we shot Labor Day weekend, we shot 4 of them in a row.
Oh my God. Sounds like hell on earth.
Yeah. 2 were, one's Sacramento, one's in Carmel, and then Anaheim, and then I want to say Laguna Beach. So we had to drive after these weddings. It wasn't easy, but
that's insane.
You want to make money, So we did it.
Yeah. All right. So when you were thinking okay, I can't keep up at this pace and only doing weddings, how did you start transitioning out of that and finding those corporate I know you said you do corporate, headshot, family, all the things. How did you start doing that?
Yeah. So the biggest step for me was getting my studio. So I have a studio here in Santa Ana. 600 square feet, pretty big, nice shooting space. Funnily enough, I'm at my house recording with you, but my studio. Um, Getting the studio just kind of made it easy to shoot portraits, to shoot headshots, to shoot more of that kind of stuff, even product photos, right? Versus
Yeah.
your living room, like just trying to finagle things, setting up your
Mm-hmm.
lighting when it doesn't look good. But it gives you legitimacy. So when you have clients come in and they, we have a meeting room when you first walk in, you have like all of our big prints on the walls and stuff. They sit down and they feel like you're legit, right?
Yeah.
And then you walk into the studio, we show them all the things that were there. We're shooting, we have lighting set up. And, truth be told, we might use a couple of lights, but we have extra lights and stuff set up because it looks impressive.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
I
Smart.
don't know anybody that does that, right? But um, that gave me legitimacy about, 6 years ago. So we started booking a lot of stuff at the studio, and it was just easy because it's like, hey, come to the studio, and it sounds cooler too, right? I guess like, hey, come to my studio.
As
So,
opposed to coming to the park or, yeah.
and we still do those kind of like outdoor stuff, but it's just
Yeah.
different when you want a controlled environment with that
Mm-hmm.
studio look. You have hair and makeup done because the park we've done those tons, like family photos out there,
Yeah.
because they like that natural look. But the people that come in the studio, they dress up super nice. They look like super glam, and then we just shoot them. Like we get
Yeah.
hair and makeup with them, and they get that experience, right?
Yeah. And, I know there are people out there who are like, I don't have a studio yet. And I don't want people to think that you have to have a studio. But once you do, it really does make life a little bit easier. As long as you don't have rent that is like way over what you should have it. I think that that's important to say too.
Yeah.
But once you do have that studio, it really does. It gives you a place to go to work for one and not be, mixing the boundaries of home and work. I mean, and I did start with a home studio and a lot of people did. But once you have that space, and if you don't have one yet and you want one, keep working towards it. Like you'll get there. But it does. It gives you that kind of just even if it doesn't matter as much to the clients, it makes you feel more confident, I think. At least it did for me, which is half the battle. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, a pro tip is if you want a studio and it's too expensive, find a couple of photographers or some other vendors in the industry who you want to
Mm-hmm.
share it with.
Yep.
You guys just split it. You split
Yep.
it. You guys have a calendar on Google. That really helps out. Like when I first started, I had shared studios, and even now, like I have two studio partners, and we share the space because we're not in there 24 hours a day. We
Yep.
have our calendar and we split it up, and we just work together real well. We've been doing it for like the past few
Yeah.
years, so
You know what, Ning?
big difference.
It really is that easy. Like I shared with a makeup
Mhm.
artist for many, many, many years. And then when I got
Yeah.
my Michigan studio, I shared with another photographer who shot the same genres that I did. And I don't care. There were enough clients for all of us. And our personalities worked together. And exactly how we did it is what you said. We used a Google Calendar. It was that
Yeah.
easy. Everyone's just like cool and flexible. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Super easy.
Yeah. How did you guys find the space? I know that people ask me that a lot. Like, how do you
So,
find your studio?
so I got very, very lucky. I had two friends when I first started photography. Um, I took, I don't know, Joe and Murder Barnett. I took their workshop and they got me in love with off-camera flash, and they taught me a lot. And I remember they had the studio, and I walked in thinking, man, this is a dream studio. One day I'm going to have a space just like this. So so crazily enough, 1 year as a WPPI, I ran into Joe and we are just chatting, we're just catching up, and I'm like, man, I have a shared space. I'm not really excited about it. It was more of a meeting space than a shooting space.
Yeah.
I just was just kind of venting as friends do. And Joe says, you know what? Me and Murda are thinking about getting out of our studio. And I'm like, really? So fast forward, it's like that studio that I wanted was my studio. I was super lucky, but I guess it was just kind of fate that we just ran into each other. We just talked and it worked out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. I know I've found studios from word of mouth, from Craigslist. I had a commercial real estate agent help me once, like so many different ways. I live workspace as an apartment, but I just didn't live there. I just worked there, like so many different ways. But that overhead can really be a killer if so sharing is definitely, especially depending on where you live. Like I had this
exactly.
studio in Michigan in downtown Plymouth, which is actually, I paid $495 a month for like 6 years. And that is incredibly cheap for downtown Plymouth. But in Seattle, I mean, we were paying like upwards of 2,400 a month. It just depends on where you live, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to do legwork. If you really want to look, just start driving around, looking at spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, if you like studios that photographers have, email them. Say, hey, are you looking for another person to add on? You never know. They might say, yeah, definitely come in. Split that rent, make it super cheap.
Yeah, totally. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what you do. I know, like you said, I think you said earlier, I can't remember if we were recording at this point, but about what you do right now is 15% weddings. Yeah. And then the rest of it, like portraits, corporate, all of that. So another thing, though, that I know you do in your business is you include video, like a lot of video work. Yeah. Can you just tell us, one, how did you begin incorporating that? And two, how are you convincing people that they need video, or are they coming to you for video? I know that was a lot of questions. So start with how did you start incorporating? Yeah.
Yeah. So I started my business 2010 in August, and just wedding photo. And I was tired of people saying, hey, do you do video too? Because I missed out on that money, right? Like either refer it out or just not get that business. And in 2012, I started doing video work. I don't want to intern, but I just was with the guy for about a year. He's teaching me his secrets. He's a wedding video guy. Just a good mentor to have. Great mentor, actually. And that's how I started doing video. And because when people get booked for weddings, the first thing is usually the venue, then maybe the coordinator, then photographer, right? And then makeup and like everything else. So video always kind of falls at the end, and the budget doesn't is low at the end. They're like, oh, only have $1,000 to do it, and you're like,
right,
you can't do it because it's not feasible for you. But that's how we got to start with video, because I wanted to capture that money in the beginning. So if we're doing photo, let's add on video as well. We'll do packages, we'll do collections, we'll work with the client to get that. So instead of $1,000, you're booking $3,000 to $6,000.
Yep.
That's a lot more money than that, than $1,000. But that's how we started doing video, and we started getting into a lot of corporate and commercial work for video, like branding videos, event coverage, all these kind of things. But the latest thing, we did some portrait videos, but so I'll get a little personal here. We have a close family member, my brother's father-in-law, who's going through some health stuff. And so I always thought I wanted to sit down with my parents and interview them. Mm-hmm. But this was important enough where I sat them down. So I took them to my studio, and we mic'd them up. We had 3 cameras on them, lights and everything. And I just sat there. I talked to them for about 2 hours, just about like where they grew up. They grew up in Thailand, and what they were like as high schoolers. How did they meet? How do they know they want to get married? And just their life story a little bit, and just talking about the diagnosis of what's happening with them, and just messages that the dad wanted to leave to the family, and it's weird how these moments kind of change your perspective. And I was talking to my wife, I'm like, I wanted to do more of these interviews. And it's not like it's I think over time we lose connection with people, especially when they pass away, because we don't know how they grew up. We don't know what they went through. And so doing this really kind of put a fire into my butt to start offering this for real to people. And how would you love to, and you're a mom, so how would you love to tell stories to your kids, right? Like when you're young and cool, and like when you met your husband and how you fell in love. So doing that,
Ugh.
I think captures things, and that's what we do as photographers, videographers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We make memories and just,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, it's taking it to the next level of,
exactly.
portraits are priceless. They're wonderful. If I had video of my dad talking about growing up and just stories and things he remembers about me as a kid and all of that, like, wow. I mean, that would be,
It's
I have nothing like that. Nothing,
I mean,
and
yeah,
that
exactly.
would be
Like when
absolutely
people
incredible.
pass, exactly, but like when people pass away, what do they gravitate? They gravitate towards photos and video, right? They want to hear people's voices. They want to
Hmm.
see them move. They want to see, like we shoot so many wedding videos, like father daughter first dance, the
Yeah.
speeches, the toasts, just seeing your uncle take shots with you, right? Or like just these really random things, like, and that is kind of, back to part of your question initially, like that is how we kind of sell video. We tell them, look, photos are great, but just imagine hearing your parents' voices again in the future, or like seeing
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
grandma dance with you. And it's an emotional moment, but that's what we do. Like we we create these memories that are there forever, even for their
Yeah.
grandkids and great grandkids, etc. So
Yeah. It's incredible.
yeah,
I actually have this cassette tape. So I was in like sixth grade or something, and we had this, it was like a family tree assignment, and we had to record a story of one of our grandparents or something like that. And my grandfather is telling the story of what it was like for him in the army. And I mean, he talked for, probably 2 hours on this cassette tape. And it's just his voice. I can't see him, but it's really, really cool. Oh, I love this so much. I really do. And just,
yeah,
as we get older, I'm in my, I guess, late 40s now, 46. And, a lot of obviously my dad's gone. My best friend died. Two of my best friends, my very, very best friend, and then my other best friend died. It's like, as we get older, more and more people we're losing them, our grandparents, our parents, like my friends' parents, all of that. To have that, I'm really, really loving this idea. Okay, so how do you do this, and how do you charge for it? And because there's this part of me that's like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I want to capture this video of this important person, but that's going to be $2,000, which you should get paid for it. But like, how do you do this?
So like I said, this is the first time I've done it with it's basically family. I've known the parents for like decades, so they're not
Yeah,
like strangers to me. So I would never charge close family like that.
yeah,
But
no, I wouldn't either.
it's kind of like your time versus the complexity of the video. So for us, I had a 3 camera setup, just like this, the main camera of the two of us, then one camera here, and the mom, and one camera on the dad. Three
Yeah.
camera setup. I didn't shoot any B roll. Like I didn't shoot like anything but them. I shot them interviewing, being talked. I talked to them, right.
Yeah.
What I did do was I actually asked them to bring in their favorite photos, right?
Ooh, I like
So
that.
they would
Yeah.
so they would hold it up and they would show me their photo and talk about it. And I saw pictures of when they got married in this chapel in Vegas, because that's all they could do, right? And then like the dad as a mechanic for Toyota, and like
Mm-hmm.
family vacations, and like when they were young with black hair and like happy and young and like just full of life. Not saying they're not, but like it was
Yeah.
cool to do that. As for charging, it really depends on one, I think, your market of where you live, right? Of your
Mm.
average pricing. But for something like that, I would charge 3 to 5K. And I know it's a
Yeah.
lot, but you have to keep in mind, as photo video people, it's not just the shooting part, it's the editing part, right?
Yes.
So
It's
I took,
way intense. Yeah.
yeah. So imagine taking 2 hours of video and cutting it. I made a 70-minute video for them, right? I cut out certain things. It's like
Mm-hmm.
their mess ups and stuff. Um, but it took a lot of time, right? And I know I'm not the same price as other people and stuff like that. But it just depends. If it's a quick
Yeah.
one where it's like, hey, we do one camera, we might do a cheaper package. We don't do any cuts. We just start. You get the video from beginning to the end. We're gonna ask a certain amount of questions, and you
Mm-hmm.
just get one camera. And we just make sure it looks good. We export it, and even the ums and the mess ups they get, we might
Yeah.
try to just do something cheaper. But
Yeah.
so it really depends. But that's what I would probably charge for something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm like, my wheels are spinning here. It almost seems like this is something that you could add on, like just like you did with weddings, where you're adding on video. So if someone books you for a portrait shoot, family shoot or whatever, it could be an add-on, an upcharge or an upsell or whatever, where with this package you
yeah,
get this legacy video. And to have an example, like even just to have like a 60-second marketing clip, like to show people that this could be, you or
hmm
your loved one or whatever. I think it's really smart.
yeah. I mean, it definitely. I mean, it's got that catch-22, right? It takes samples to get work, but you can't get work without samples.
Yeah.
Um, so a great way if you want to get into something like that is you just sit down your family, sit down your relatives, or sit down like your in-laws. If you get along with them, right? Um,
Yeah.
and just
I
do
do.
something like
I'm
that.
lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, something like I personally don't edit video. I don't want to edit video. So I know that people might be like, oh, ugh, I don't do that. But I mean, I have a couple really amazing video editors, and they're not that expensive. I mean, it depends. It can be very expensive, but if you find the right person who does quality work and, charges not a crazy amount, it can be no sweat off your back. Like it could, yeah.
yeah. I mean, when you first start shooting video, I recommend you edit because once you edit, you know how you're supposed to shoot. Like you
Yeah,
shoot
that helps.
transitions.
Good
It
point.
helps so much. Like giving your editor kind of like that polishing dog poop. If you give them crap, they can't make it
Yeah.
perfect. They'll
Yeah.
make it shiny. But editors are great. If you have an editor that you work with that does great work for you, that is priced the way you want, that's perfect. I mean, put that
Mm-hmm.
pricing into your collection, like include it.
Mm-hmm.
So if editor
Yep.
is like 800 to $1,000, you just got to include it, and that's
Yep.
just part of the collection, right?
Yep. For sure. Now, how do you incorporate video into your portrait clients or headshot? Like, are you doing a lot of that, or has it mostly video just been for weddings?
So for videos, we do a lot of wedding videos. We don't do a lot of video portraits like on purpose. We kind of like do if we're shooting a portrait session, we might do a couple of them just to like do like little teasers. So if they're like, we'll have look at us slow motion smiling or like just giving us a silly expression. We
Yeah.
don't include
Yeah.
anything like that, but it's kind of cool to like have it on social media as a story,
Yeah.
and to give it to them. Um, so we haven't really found a way to incorporate video like that into portraits. That's why I thought this idea of kind of
Yeah.
like you said, legacy story, which is a great way of putting it,
Yeah.
um, is a better idea because you're doing it for a purpose, not just for social media, like likes and stuff.
Yeah. I wonder if you could incorporate it with like personal branding. So, for example, if you're photographing like a yoga studio or a dentist office or, something like that, where maybe you're photographing or, excuse me, maybe you're doing video on the dentist who has like a smiling patient as opposed to, to show like I'm a friendly dentist or, showing some of the yoga classes or whatever. I feel like video is something you could add on as a package to anything really.
Yeah. So we do a lot of those. I call them branding videos. So like a med spa, right? They talk about their med spa and stuff like that. We get like those photos of them working, the empty space, and
Okay.
just lifestyle stuff in there, like of them with their patients. But then we also ask if they want video, and if they do, we have a separate guy or me or whoever. We shoot the video as well,
Okay.
um, of them just moving, interacting. So like, for example, like here in Newport Beach, there's so many med spas. Like, why would they want to go to yours versus other people? So not just showing photos is good, but showing like how they're like, helping people, like doing a treatment, or like just happiness, like you're saying, the smiling patients makes a big
Yeah.
difference.
Okay, so you are doing when I said portraits, I meant just like
Oh, okay.
anything
Yeah.
other than wedding. So you are including them in like business, personal branding stuff, the video.
Yes, we do a lot of
Okay.
that. Like business coaches that want videos, or
Yes.
they want photos, but they want videos of them working with a client. Even like realtors,
Mm-hmm.
they want to. They might not be doing a walkthrough. Like we don't shoot like their walkthrough of the whole place with them, but them just talking to their clients and like just meeting them, different locations, and like we get the photos for the stock, the stock custom stock photography.
Uh-huh.
But the branding videos, we do a lot. We do a lot of those videos actually.
Yeah, that's really smart. I feel like you could kind of market it similarly to how you would do personal branding photos. Like this is giving them social media content. It's giving them content for their website. It's showing behind the scenes. It's giving a look at who they are personality wise. You could
Yep.
do, testimonials. I mean, there's so many ways to incorporate video. It's if I feel like if you're not doing that, especially with personal branding, this could be a huge, huge upselling point.
Yeah, that definitely is. Like we just picked up a new client. He's a dog. He owns a dog training facility and boarding and grooming and stuff. So we're not just shooting their space, but we're shooting kind of him working, his staff working.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought of a crazy idea. We put a GoPro or something onto a dog and
Oh
get
my
that
gosh.
perspective, right?
Brilliant. Uh-huh.
Something
That's
like just something
so
different.
smart.
It's like, see what your dog sees, right?
Uh-huh.
And then
That's
just
funny.
stuff like that is different, but we want to show how he works because he's a professional dog trainer.
Mm-hmm.
We want to show him working with dogs. So, like, if your dog has issues or you're scared because you have a big German Shepherd that doesn't listen to you, he'll take care of it for you.
Yeah, I love this. This is really smart. And like the GoPro thing, it's just brilliant.
Just
Although I'm like,
just
I can
different.
imagine the dogs like going up into other dogs' butts. That'd be funny. But
Well,
that could be like a
it's
blooper reel. You know what I mean? Like there's
that's
so much you could do. Yeah,
exactly. That could be
I really love this.
yeah, that'd be a good one. That'd be definitely be good right there. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. Yeah, this is really, really. And now I'm starting to think like, maybe I need to incorporate video into my packages. Okay, so how do you price this then? Is it, something separate, or how do you do that?
So, like everything is separate, right? Because it's separate work. It's like if I do a photo video for like a branding video, for instance, or branding session, I don't just do it myself. Like I don't just shoot it and then switch my camera to video.
Okay.
Like I'll have one of my guys there shooting video at the same time,
Yeah.
because like we did one for a lawyer, a personal injury lawyer, and he was super cool. He did things for us over and over. But like these guys, their time is money. So like if we have an hour, that's an hour of their time. So I'm not going to make them do the same shots over and over. So
Yeah.
I'll be shooting photo. My guy will be running a gimbal, and so like it's separate pricing because it's also separate deliverables, right? So you have, like, so for branding photos, we typically charge like $4,500, for like 3-4 hours of shooting for photo only. And then for branding video, I like pricing it the same because it makes it easy for me to remember, but it's also consistent for the client. So we'll say if you want to add a branding video, it's $4,500 as well, right?
Okay.
So and we'll tell them what that includes. And so we do a little extra stuff. So, for example, like the lawyer, we shot him moving in like everything in slow motion, right? So 4K, 120 frames per second. And so it's him coming to the office, him in his space, him in his building and everything. But then we also made a silent version of different clips to put in his website. So in the background, when it comes up, it just has him moving. And we went to the courthouse with him on a weekend, so it didn't look crazy crowded. And we shot the courthouse. We got drone footage and we got all this kind of stuff.
So smart.
And it does cost a little bit of money, but the biggest thing is, look, you go on Yelp and you type in personal injury lawyer, how many people come up? And you want people to see you move and talk and act, because if I were to hire a lawyer, I want an aggressive, like looks like he could be a TV lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so like that's kind of why we sell it. And like these guys, they know the business. That's why they wear a nice suit and tie and everything, because they know that it makes a big difference, right?
It does. It does. It's kind of an easy sell when you put it that way. It's, especially when you're talking to attorneys, real estate agents, insurance people, life coaches, all the,
Mm-hmm.
personal trainers. There are so many other people in their industry. And I usually, this is, one of the ways that I sell photos is how are you standing out from all of these other people? And we're going to do that with your photos. But when you're doing that also with video, I mean, you're just completely leveling up. And again, it's giving them content, which Lord knows so many people need better content for all
Yep.
of their marketing. It's really smart.
Yeah. It's just, you have to figure a way to approach a problem and solve it that your client has what their problems are. If you can solve it and you can monetize it somehow and give them what you promise, it just really helps you with your business. And that's the hardest part. Like a lot of people have issues with.
Yep. Totally. Okay, so let's talk about your personal branding package. So 4,500. What does that include? Is this just like a day rate? Are they getting a specific amount of images, or how do you structure that?
So the typical average person, average client, that's like a law office, or like a lawyer, or like real estate, or like life coach, sales coach. That's the pricing we give them.
Yeah.
So we do 3 hours of shooting,
Mm-hmm.
because getting there, setting up or whatever we need to do,
Mm-hmm.
we say it's included as part of that, right? Because I don't want them to think, oh, they're taking so much time to set up and tear down, paying them for that. We say we don't charge for any of that kind of stuff, but we get 3 hours of shooting, so you get as many outfit changes as you want. You can shoot wherever you want, as long as we can get everything fit within 3 hours, right? And so a lot of these, like, we shot a business coach, and she has a beautiful home here in Newport, so we shot in her home. It shows success, right? Like, if you're hiring a business coach and they have like a lot of nice things, you realize,
Mm-hmm.
hey, she's successful. Let's kind of, hire her. So we shot her in her home. She changed outfits, and we're like, we don't care what you wear, how many outfits you want. It's just part of the 3 hours, kind of like a portrait session, right?
Yep.
And then, and the deliverables is, I don't have a set number. I don't say, oh, you only get X amount of photos, because in this kind of stuff, we don't really do like, IPS or like sales and stuff like that. We're like,
Mm-hmm.
you get a flat, whatever we shoot, we think looks good, we'll edit, we'll give it to you. If there's a request you want, we can do that too, right?
Yeah.
And then they're all high res, edited, not watermarked, JPEG images. We tell them, we're very clear about photoshopping. We're like, look, if you show up with tan lines because you went to the beach the day before, we can't Photoshop them out. We'll charge you for that. But if you have simple things, like we want to take it like an exit sign that looks just really easy to do, we'll take those out for you.
Yeah.
If you have a couple of hero shots, send them to me. All the little touch up work for you, not a big deal at all. And then we also include licensing, because I know some people like say, hey, you can only license it for a year if you want to do this or that. I'm like, look, to me, it's complicated. If you have the time and bandwidth and energy to do it, go for it. But for me, it's like flat fee, licensing is included. As long as you don't sell them to TMZ, we're good, right?
Right.
It's all part of my contract and stuff like that. But that's kind of the deliverable they get. And I show them in the past. I'll give them a full gallery of past clients, and this is what we've given them.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be very similar. So we don't guarantee images, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of content for you.
I like the simplicity and the efficiency of it. That's how I run my business, is like simplicity, efficiency, great connection with the clients, great service, beautiful imagery. Like, I love that. I really love that, because a confused mind says no. And if you're like, this is your package and you have the boundaries there, if you're someone who doesn't want to retouch out tan lines or whatever, like those boundaries are set, the expectations are there. I think that's super important. No blurred lines. I love it. Yeah, it's great.
And if you do this kind of pricing and you memorize your pricing, so if you meet somebody like you're at a networking event, they ask you to tell them the price. Because I always hate that, like, oh, let me get back to you and figure it out. It's kind of like, like if you don't know
it
your
depends on what you
pricing,
want, and
yeah,
it shows like
I
you don't have
hate,
confidence. Yeah.
yeah, it's like this is the price, this is how it is, and like they might get sticker shock. Oh, it's a lot. They might not get sticker shock, but this is what you charge, what you're worth, and this makes you just have more confidence in your quoting ability, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thinking about the whole video piece as well, it's like well, okay, so I know that you don't do video separate, which I think is really smart because you don't want to burn the client out in the end. You don't want, at least personally, I don't, and I don't want to burn out either. So maybe it's finding someone who really loves doing video in your area and partnering up. And, like for your video guy, I don't know, is it that person just gets paid separately, or do you give them, do you share, like, do they get a commission? Like, because if you're bringing in the work for them, how does that work?
Great question. So what I do is I pay them a lead video rate, or if I have two shooters, a lead and a second rate. Like so
Okay.
and our rates here for lead is like 100 to 150 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and then second shooters are like now they're like 60 to like 75 an hour, right?
Okay. Yep. So just like with weddings, if you have a second shooter or yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. And their job is to come in and they shoot, and they don't do any editing, they don't do any client communication, before and after. And we always try and like, I'm kind of I always want to try and hook up my guys. So my guys have been with me for a long time. I'll try and hook them up. Like I have guys who drive out like 40 miles away. I give them a little extra money for gas money, right? So like, we have a little bit of profit there. And I believe taking care of your people really helps you, not not just being a good person, but like you have shooter loyalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will tend to work harder for you a little bit. They'll take your jobs over other people's jobs.
Yep. I love it. Love it, Ning. Mm-hmm.
The little extra. Always helps,
Yeah. I do that for my makeup artist because now I do a lot of my shoots out of my house now. And which is funny because I know we were talking about, but studios I have, stuff, yeah, I know, but I have 10 acres of property and I have some beautiful flowers and I have these huge windows. And sometimes I just like don't want to leave my house. I don't know. I'm just like a homebody these days. And when people are willing to come here, well, okay. So today I actually have a shoot where we're starting at the studio where I shoot and then coming for the second half to my property. So we won't be inside my house. I'm going like this, like you can see my property. I'm pointing out the window. So, having someone come out to my house, it's going to be a little bit further for the makeup artists, especially. Like the makeup artist that I work with, it's a 45-minute drive to get to my house. So I pay her one-way drive time. Like that's kind of our in-the-middle agreement because, for her to drive, if you split up the 45 minutes, it's like 23 minutes. That's an average drive for her, so I pay her one way. I do this with my babysitters too. If I find a sitter that is out at our cottage and she's amazing, but it's a 45-minute drive, I'm like, I'll pay you for your drive time. Like I do that all the time. When I find someone good, I want them to come to me. I'm going to pay them a little bit more and it's so worth it. So worth it. So yeah, it's cool to hear you say that.
It makes a big deal. I remember like when I was shooting a ton of weddings, I took my whole team out and I bought them all suits, right?
Oh,
the following year we did lunch. Then I bought everybody like good shoes. I'm like, I told everybody, like, this is double edged for me because I'm buying something nice, but it's also, you have to wear it at my weddings, so you have to look nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't want to be like, go out and spend $1,000 on the suit and then come shoot a wedding where you might get wine spilled on you, or like you're going to be on your knees, like in the dirty floor getting a shot. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And like, some of my guys are like, cool. They're like skater. Yeah. They're skater dudes. So like, I'm like, guys, you can't wear this skating, please. I know this is your stuff. I bought it for you, but please reserve it for like when you come work with me. Even funny. Like one of my guys, he's been super loyal for me over these past few years. Just totally helped my business. Out of the blue one day, well, I planned it, but he didn't expect it. But I actually bought him a 2870 RF lens without him knowing.
That's a great gift.
Yeah, and it's. I kind of made him cry because he's like, I never had somebody buy a gift like this for me. And I'm like, look, man, you've been helping my business kick butt. You work so hard. You were talking about this lens for a long time. It's on sale on Canon Refurb right now. Yeah. And I told him, look, I'm buying it for you. It's your lens. but when you come shoot for me, please bring and use this lens too. Like it just,
Right.
I know it helps me out, but it's their gift, right? And
Yeah,
I
that's great.
believe in helping out people who have helped me.
100%. And again, that makes them loyal to you as well. I mean,
Yeah,
when we feel
exactly.
respected and important to the people we're working with, it makes all the difference. It makes them want to keep working with you.
100%.
So that's great. That's great. Well, I think you've given a lot of just really great ideas to me and, and to the listeners for video. It's, we don't talk a whole lot about video on here because, the portrait system is about portraits, but it really is such an incredible way to just up that sales average. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot of extra work, when you've got other people, when you're outsourcing it, really. I mean, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And people own the gear already, right? You already own lighting gear. You own your own cameras. You might have to buy LEDs versus strobes, but you don't have to get expensive things. You can get cheaper products that look good. You get audio gear that's simple. You just dip your feet into it, see if you like it, and then, I mean, if you like it, you can almost maybe double your income.
You really could.
Like those sales guys, but
you could double your income with the stretch. No, it's true though. Like you really could. I mean, if you think about it, yeah, it's awesome.
Even like extra couple $1,000s a month. Who wouldn't want it? Who wouldn't want that? So
exactly.
Yeah, give it a shot and see where it goes.
Yeah, fantastic. Sweet. Well, thank you for all of that. This has been super helpful. Once you get that portrait side going more as well with kind of these legacy videos, of your loved ones, you'll have to let me know once you have it up and running so we can have you back again and talk more about that.
Well, it's funny because I didn't think of a good name until you literally said legacy video, because I'd call them life story videos, which sounds weird to me, but I might actually steal that from you, like legacy
heck
video,
yeah.
somewhere or another.
I didn't make it. I mean, legacy is not my word. I'm sure I got it from Sue or so.
But yeah,
heck yeah, use it. Go for it. That's
definitely
awesome.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Definitely let you know how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I do have a couple other questions for you that I always ask at the end of each episode. The first one is, what is something you can't live without when you're doing a photo shoot or video, however you want to respond?
What I can't live without, is it like a gear thing or just in general? Like
in general, some people say music, some people say my confidence, some people say, like I always say, a reflector. I've got to have my reflector or my spider holster. It's across the board what people say. So anything you want.
It's weird. Like before a big job, it's music, right? But before a big job, I played the same song I've played since college, is John Mayer, No Room for Squares, in my car.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's a hype song, but to me, it's a song that means a lot to me. So before a big job, I would listen to it. And I would listen to it during the shoot or anything. Like, we shouldn't have wedding. We can't do that, right? But like, in the car, just on the way there, you have Spotify, you just play it, and it just gets me in that mindset of like, today's a great day. I'm lucky to do what I do, and just kind of give that positivity to your client. No matter what you're shooting, a branding video to a wedding to corporate event to headshots, it's like your experience and your positivity makes a big difference for your client's shoot. So
absolutely.
That's kind of, I guess that's what I can't live without, is that one song. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, it translates to positivity, and that could even be the answer too, is that like I've told I have this rule for myself, for my makeup artist assistants, like we don't bring our, health issue stories into, oh, I had bad cramps today. Like they don't need, my client doesn't, this is about them. Like this is, oh, you had a fight with your partner or whatever. Like it stays out. If you want to vent to me later, because we have that relationship, that's great. But it's all about the client, and it's all positive when they're there because they can feel it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, not that people, I mean, someone goes through something devastating, like take the day off. I don't mean to be like, but you know what I mean.
I get it. I had a second shooter go through a divorce while she's shooting weddings with me.
Oh yeah.
And I asked her, I said, do you want to still do them? Like, do you still want to shoot weddings with me? You can take a break. And she's like, she can separate it. But then during our downtime, we're hanging out afterwards, she's talking to me about it, what's going on and stuff. And like, but during the shoot, she was good. She did her
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah.
like, I can't imagine going through something like that and just seeing like love everywhere, right?
Right. It'd be hard.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, if you're a professional, you should understand. But at the same time, we are all humans, so we should all help each other out
Yeah.
too.
Exactly. Good balance. All right. Number 2 is, how do you spend your time when you're not working?
Great question. So the way I spend my time not working, I have 2 kids. My daughter, who is almost 10, and my son, who's 4.5. And it's crazy because you're self-employed. So for me, I always do the pickup, drop-offs, activities like getting their snacks and all that kind of stuff. And so my time when I'm not working is I'm spending time with my family, because I realize they get older, and my kids I'm still cool to them, but like you hear stories when kids get older, and I don't want to lose this time. Like I don't want to be in my 50s, 60s, 70s, be like, oh, I should have just booked more sessions. It's like, I should have just went to that karate tournament. I should have done this and stuff like that. And honestly, I know it's a kind of cliche answer, but it's family time. And not just that, but my parents, spending time with my parents, because, health issues, getting older. It's that's time you can't get back. And if you think about what we do, we make memories for other people. Like we shoot weddings, we shoot portraits, we shoot events. Why don't we prioritize making memories for ourselves, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's a big thing. And just stuff like that, watching Netflix, maybe play video games, the typical stuff.
I mean, good downtime.
Exactly.
All right. Number 3 is, what is a photography specific piece of gear that you would recommend to people that you think everyone should have?
The photography related piece of gear that I would recommend, honestly, would be some sort of like flash modifier. Like I use the Dem Flip It, which is like a big white card that you can move that goes on top of your flash, because it modifies your flash, of course, from a small flash head to a bigger light source. I know we're not like creating like big soft boxes when you're shooting things, but it makes a big difference in terms of bouncing light versus like direct flash.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're in a big reception hall, or you're a big event room where there's no ceiling to bounce off of. Just
or it's
that
bad.
bounce.
The color of the paint is bad, or
red paint or green paint, and you're like, you don't want that color cast unless you're delivering black and whites only. But having something to bounce your flash, there's so many modifiers out there. This is what I use specifically, but making your flash look like it's not flash is probably a huge thing for people.
Yeah.
And
it's important.
I'd recommend a flash modifier like a Flip It, like a Dem Flip It.
Yep. Fantastic. All right. Number 4, what would you tell people who are just starting out?
So what would I tell people just starting out? I would honestly tell them to learn the business and not just be an artist, right? Like, like guys, being an artist is great. That's how you make money. That's how you can show your work. But if you have the most amazing work and you don't know how to run a business, simple things like paying taxes, having a business license, like like giving your guys 1099, stuff like that, right? To legitimize yourself, make it a legit business. No matter how small or big it is, I promise you in the future, if you want to scale up bigger, it makes it easier. Like it's a big deal. And if you can run a business, you can market yourself, your photos can be okay. They don't have to be like super, Sue Bryce style amazing. If they're, let's say, like if your work is okay, but your marketing is great and your business sense is great, you're going to get a lot more clients. Then you can improve on being an artist. But please take workshops from people who have proven themselves in the industry. Don't just sign up for this person because, whatever. Like do your research and find out who's who in the industry. If they have a workshop and they're offering a business class, take it. If you're going to a conference and they're doing a workshop or a conference, like a thing, please go take that. The artistry can come, but the business needs to be done first.
Amen to that. It's so true. We see some of the most incredible photographers out there who are just not doing great in business because it's that piece.
You got to learn.
All right.
You got to learn.
And then where can people find you online?
So I'm pretty easy. If you go to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, it's at Ning Wong Studios. NingWongStudios. So
Nice
all
and
simple.
consistent. I love it.
Yep. Easy.
Cool. Well, thanks, Ning.
No problem.
Nice chatting with you.
Thank you for having me. And it's really great, to,
yeah.
I feel
sure
honored.
I'll see
I
you
feel
in
super
person.
honored. So.
Oh, good. I'm honored to have you here. It's been great.
No,
I'm sure I'll see you in person at some point. WPPI. Are you going to the Portrait Masters conference?
I am not going to Portrait Masters, but I'll be at WPI, Imaging, all those places. So
cool. Awesome. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you. I'll see you then. Give you a big hug.
All right.
in person.
Thanks, Nikki.
Yay. Thanks, Ning.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll see you later.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Also, if you want more photography education, resources, and inspiration, head to theportraitsystem.com. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.